with the solution to this equation. We have 2 cotangent x plus secant squared equals 0. A couple things. First, let's rewrite cotangent as 1 over tangent. So 2 cotangent will be 2 over tangent x. And now secant squared, we know that tangent squared plus 1 is equal to secant squared. So we're going to make this substitution. So we have plus tangent squared plus 1 is equal to 0. From here, we can multiply both sides by tangent to get 2 plus tangent cubed plus tangent equals 0. And if you don't like working with tangent, you can make a substitution. You can let u equal tangent of x. So you have 2 plus u cubed plus u equals 0. And I'm just going to rewrite it like this. U cubed plus u plus 2 is 0. Now at this point, we need to factor this out. And it's not clear what's going to work. But if you want, you can use a rational root theorem. Basically, you take the roots of 2 and then the roots of 1. So you have plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 over plus or minus 1. So it's basically going to be plus or minus 1 over plus or minus 1 and then plus or minus 2. And then from here, we're going to plug it in, and then we'll see that negative 1 is actually the one that works. So I'm going to use synthetic division. So we have u cubed, there's no u squared, there's one u and then there's a 2. We're going to bring down the 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we end up with u squared minus u plus 2. And notice that this is not going to factor nicely, because if you look at the discriminant, it's going to be negative. So what we have is u cubed plus u plus 2 is equal to 0. We said negative 1 is a factor, so that means u plus 1 multiplies u squared minus u plus 2 equals 0. So we get u is negative 1, and then this one doesn't equal 0 for any real numbers, so we're going to ignore this. And now we said u was tangent of x. So we look at when is tangent of x equal to negative 1. Well, if we look at our unit circle, that means x and y have to be the same in terms of absolute values. Obviously in the first quadrant, if we look at the acronym, all students take calculus, everything is positive here, so tangent is positive, so that doesn't count. Here sine is positive, and then cosine is negative, so that works. Here tangent is positive, we don't want that, and here cosine is positive, sine is negative, so that works as well. So we're going to get two answers here, and we know it's going to be something pi over 4, so this one's going to be 3 pi over 4, and this one is going to be 7 pi over 4. And notice these are pi units away from each other. So what you could say is basically if you keep adding by pi, like if I add pi over here, I'm going to end up over here. And I add another pi, I'm going to go back here as 11 pi over 4. Then I add another pi, I'm going to be over here. Okay. So you're basically going back and forth if you add pi. So we'll just say plus pi n. So that's the answer.